There we go, guys. Welcome back. Excellent. We're now all energized up. I have gotten myself some water. The players have taken a short 5-minute break. They are ready to face it up in the Hearthstone.fi Monday Night Community Tournament number 25 final. Grand final where the winner will take home 10 BlizzCon points and 50 euros. So not too shabby at all. We are powered by Fraktio, the Finnish web services company at www.fraktio.fi. So check them out if you haven't already. And without any more delays, without any more explanations, we're gonna go ahead and tell the players to start playing so we can get right into the action for you. Yeah, it seems they have already started.
Olodyn versus Rezakoman.
Let the hunt begin. Your soul shall be mine.
We haven't missed much. Luckily, they've only done their mulligans and are starting turn number 1. Nymerius' hand with a handlock is currently pretty difficult. This mountain giant could prove to be useful though. If he's still alive by turn 4, he can make use of that mountain giant properly. Turn 5, the Sludge Belcher could be coined out on 4, and it seems we're out of sync once again. Damn, I was starting to get into the flow of that match already. I feel Icky would talk us. Yep, it's the Leper Gnome coming down, and Rezakoman's Face Hunter is just all out, eking it a huge amount of damage into Nymerius' face right now. 9 cards in hand. He can do nothing if he wants, and then do the Mountain Giant for 3 mana next turn, or coin out the Drake. I think the Drake is a good call. And the layout is bugging out a little bit. It is indeed a minion.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
And there's not a whole lot, unless you draw into the Taunt Givers. I don't think there's any way for Nymerius to come back from this. I'm looking at this hand. It's 4, 6, 8, 10, 13. No mana for the heal bot. If you Shadow Flame your own Twilight Drake, you'll kill the essential minions from there. You'll take 2 to the face. You'll be at 7. And the Arcane Golem hero power will put the opposing Warlock to 1 hit point. If you play a Knife Juggler, Arcane Golem, no. Well, if he survives this turn, and on turn 5, the Antique Heal bot is able to bring him back up to 9, and those minions are used. Ah, there we go. This is better than the Golem, because if the Golem had been played, you would give the Handlock 1 more mana to work with, and that would be really, really bad. So this way, when it's an explosive trap, yes, it's an explosive trap, you actually get the opposing Warlock to the critical amount of 8 hit points, and you can deal that with 3, 7, and hero power. And that is it. 1-0 in favor of the Russian Rezakoman. Very, very fast first game. This Face Hunter showing the power it can still hold over the Handlock. If the Handlock does not draw into its taunt cards, if it does not have the proper start, it will just keel over and die in front of the Face Hunter's might. One-0 in favor of our Russian player. This is another best of 5 conquest. We will join the winner's side of the board this time. And he has chosen his own handlock, and Nymerius has his freeze mage, if I remember correctly. And this matchup should actually be pretty good for the handlock. The burst potential for the freeze mage is fairly high though. So I'm thinking is if the scales have maybe tipped a little in the latest patches. No, I still think that both players have a good chance to win it. That ice block will not have any major significance on the next plays being made. This big game hunter will have only one target, that's the Alexstrasza, so that's the reason you're gonna hold on to it for now. Coining out this Twilight Drake instead. Or you could argue to play just the Protector, but I personally prefer to see the Drake a lot more. It's at least a target for the Protector to get grant taunts at. On turn 4 you can even go and life tap first and see what you get out of there. This Twilight Drake by itself is enough to provide some sort of pressure against this Freeze Mage, but double Blizzard, Flame Strike, double Doomsayer, double Healbot. No, that's a Healbot and a Hoarder.
Shields up.
So we'll probably see the Hoarder come down this turn to cycle cards. You don't have enough for Blizzard quite yet. And you don't want to be using your Healbot just to heal 4. So this Loot Hoarder cycle is actually pretty much the only thing that makes any sense that you can do. Oh, Mountain Giant. Now, playing just the Belcher means that you can play the Mountain Giant on turn 6. Yes, I would like to see that. Excellent. You don't waste the heal from the Healbot. You can safely ignore the 2-1, force the opposing mage to run it into one of your taunts. Try and push the Freeze Mage as far as possible so you can start popping that block. At 6 mana, you don't have the Frost Nova to handle combo with the Doomsayer, but you do have the Blizzard to freeze down the board. And you have double Blizzard actually, and the Flame Strike, so... Now that the Mountain Giant comes down, it's safe from all of those AoEs. But with the Flame Strike down, and this Loot Hoarder trading for the Sludge Belcher's taunt, it'll only have 4 hit points left. And 4 hit points is fairly easy to handle when it comes to Freeze Mages. It's just a single Frost Bolt hero power and that'll be it. The Flame Strike is definitely the best option here when it comes to board clears. It's the most mana efficient option, and it destroys both taunts, enabling this Loot Hoarder to do the trade I was talking to you guys previously. It does push your hand up to 10. Is it 9 or 10? 9 only, so you're actually safe. And with this Frost Nova, you can combo your Doomsayer as well. So it doesn't matter what this handlock puts down this turn, it will all be dying off come next turn. It would threaten popping the block as well if the combo did not come down this turn. The Hellfire deals 3, Mortal Coils deal 1 each, so that's 5. No way to heal or kill off that Doomsayer. Instead of Doomsayer opting to go for the Blizzard, oh, well. Instead of Frost Nova opting to go for the Blizzard. I guess I understand that. Dr. Boom. You don't want to play any minions, really, not now. Mortal Coiling your own minions to get a card out of it. Yeah, that's a good play. Just wait it out one more turn. There's no rush really for the handlock right now. Anything you play onto the board would just be completely wiped and obliterated. We'll just wait one turn. Give the Freeze Mage that one turn it's been looking for. It's always a risk though, but you are still at 24. And if they play the Alex, you've already got the big game hunter to answer it, so. Alright. Preemptive Hellfire. I wonder what he wanted to establish with that.
What to do?
Oh, top decked Alexstrasza, wow. Wow, that just threw the game completely around. One Fireball, one Frostbolt, 6, 9, with Thalnos that's 11. 11 damage in his hand just waiting to be used. I guess Rezako has seen that one coming, so instead of being greedy and playing the Molten Giants, he opts to go for the Antique Heal bot for the heal. If he had left himself at 15, there would have been a fairly high chance that the Freeze Mage actually had lethal. This Thouder Sun will once again get ridiculous value from this hand.
What to do?
If you were so inclined, you could actually go for the Pyroblast this turn, push him down to 13, and there would be no way for him to heal up from it. But that's not enough. Double heal bots you don't have, you only have one. Now that you played the Thouder Sun, you want to protect it for as long as possible, so this Frost Nova makes sense. The downside is that now you don't have the Doomsayer Frost Nova combination left anymore. Alright, Mountain Giant. Mountain Giant into Twilight Drake. Those should be enough to pop this Ice Block come next turn. Other options, maybe Dr. Boom. But the more cards you play out of your hand, the less use you'll get out of this Mountain Giant, so. Tapping's fine, it just means you're not playing the Drake. Lotheb. Yep, Lotheb to contest this Thouder Sun and to disable the opposing player from using all those accelerated spells effectively this turn. Thouder Sun will still stay alive for one more turn at least. I would expect him to go for face with it, because you don't want these minions to be trading with it. Yeah, you get sort of value, but you don't really care what's on the board from the opposing side of the player. You just want to push the Warlock down enough for your spells to deal that finishing blow. Antonidas at 6. Can't be used with any spells yet. But I guess they're playing down the Antonidas just for it to be a target on the board. And that the Warlock has to focus its damage on it before it starts churning out all the endless fireballs. Oh, Siphon Soul. Pretty nice top deck there. Might actually save Rezakoman for one more turn. Mortal Coil, Dark Bomb. Well, Dark Bomb takes out Healbot. This Siphon Soul takes out Antonidas. Those two cards were the exact two cards he needed for this situation to be completely reversed and in his favor. Oh, there's the combo. 6, 9, 13 with the Blood Mage Thalnos. That's 16. But since he's already accelerated his spells enough, the 0 mana Frostbolt is enough to finish it off. And we see the tie being made by Nymerius. It is now 1-1 in the series. The Freeze Mages. The fact that the Thouder Sun has come back into the meta from the new expansion, BRM, that's pretty much the only reason why Freeze Mage has become so popular and so useful in the current tournament scene. So my original views based on this matchup were pretty much 100% on the old system, where you were forced to use those spells at high costs when they were nerfed back in the day. So Thouder Sun's impact into the meta for the Freeze Mage has definitely been big, and that has enabled it to do those ridiculous combos. Lucky for me, they were not pondering the quests, but it was indeed a visual bug. And Rezako stays with his handlock while Nymerius goes for his combo druid.
Your soul shall be mine.
And before mulligans, I think the Siphon Soul Defender and Big Game, well, these will all go out. And Nymerius will hold on to the Innervate, Shade, maybe even the Wrath. Swipe might not be so great in this matchup. Both of those, yeah, the Wrath, I get why he cycles the Wrath as well. It's not gonna get good value. Some locks do run Zombie Chow or something like that, but not all. Yep, Innervate Shade, pretty much perfect start when you're playing a Raptorid. This Shade by itself will be able to present such a big threat in the late game that you would not believe. There's no reason to attack with it. There's nothing to coin out, just a hero power. To the face we go. Straight up fast matches. Just marking it down as who won the last game, so I won't be running out of it. So, Nymerius' Freeze Mage has got one, and Rezakoman's Face Hunter has got one. Both players have a handlock variant. This turn 3 is a bit less than great. When you're forced to just hero power and nothing else. Actually putting out the Shade of Naxxramas from its shade. Interestingly enough. Well, handlocks don't usually have anything that deal 4 damage, that's true. And at 4 mana they're not able to Siphon Soul yet either. So in a way it's safe to put it out at that stage. I understand why the decision was made. The 4 mana 8/8 Mountain Giant knows its place. The swipe would enable a trade with the 5/5. I don't think that's your priority right now. 4 mana, you could coin out the Belcher, slow down this Mountain Giant for 2 turns while your Shade of Naxxramas goes to work. I don't think there are any other real options right now. The swipe onto the 8/8 is just too low impact. Yep, there we go. Belcher to slow down the 8/8. Keep going for face damage yourself. Unfortunately for Nymerius though, we are going to see a taunt up on the 8/8s at some point. Now he's holding on to 3 taunt cards. This turn 5 might even be played safe. If you play down the antique heal bot, then your Molten Giant will never come out. So playing the Molten Giant this turn, in anticipation of Defender of Argus for turn 6, or Sun Fury for turn 6. I actually like that a lot. You use 5 mana to take out the Molten Giant, but then you'll have an 8/8 body on the board, instead of just having a 3/3 and healing some. Because what are the odds of Druid getting... He's already used 1 Innervate, he's used the coin, so on turn 5 he cannot get the combo off. No way he's getting the combo off. And all these other cards are just not really even options. So there we go. Rezako sees it the same way that I do. If you would not play this right now, it would not get played in a long time. Due to the heal bots and their efficient heals. 7 to the face. Yep, it does push somewhat. You can use the Dark Bomb to clear out the 1/2 taunt, so you'll have full control of your 8/8s, taking out one of those shades, more than likely, with one of them. And then you'll have nice 2 big taunts facing the opposing side, even if they have the combo coming up. And this turn 5 for Nymerius is difficult. He could cycle the Wrath and hope to get a card with 3 or less mana cost, but Druids don't run those too much. He's got the Druid of the Flame, I believe. So that would be the only reason why you could consider using that cycle. But the swipe on the 8-5 and attack from the 1-2 into it would actually make a lot of sense too, because then you would trade your small minion into it. He opts to go for the ultra aggressive route. Swipe to the face. This means that the Force of Nature by itself is lethal, unless the heal bot comes down.
I wonder.
With the heal bot, he means that, yep, clearing out both those minions. And using in such a manner that the 8-5 is traded into the 6-6 makes a lot more sense, because your 8-6 would have been left with 1 hit point, and a Wrath for 1 would have been able to kill it and cycle at the same time. So even though you sort of kind of sacrificed one of your 8 attack minions, you did it in the right order, definitely. Siphon that Emperor, so he won't be bothering you any longer. Puts you at a fairly safe 15 hit points because of the fact that the Druid combo is always just 14. 1 essential hit point left. And I see I have to set up my Moobot. Just a second. There we go, sorry about the spam. The Moobot should be now configured so it'll kick out the spammers. The heal bot is the safe play, but then you're basically ignoring the Sylvanas, putting taunts up on the 3-3 so the Sylvanas will not be able to sacrifice itself. But that still is the absolutely correct play, because you're now threatening lethal and the Druid doesn't really have any tools to deal with it. The Wrath can take out one of these 3-3s. Is there anything else? Force of Nature defensively at 5 mana would be able to take out 1 attack face, and then you could sacrifice the Sylvanas into the 8-6. That's really bad. Even if he clears out both the 3-3s, sacrifices the Sylvanas into the 8-6, gets the 8-1, and the handlock is left with just 2-3. He'll deal 2 to the face, Hellfire for 3, Dark Bomb for another 3, so that's 6. It's not quite lethal. Pretty close, but not quite. You can beat game hunt the 8-6 as well. Wrathing your own Sylvanas, yep, makes a lot of sense. Instead of running it into the 8-1, you actually hope to get the 50%. No, you don't. 50% chance to stay alive for 1 more turn. He did not get it. This Molten Jan will finish it off with Dark Bomb Hellfire combination. And Rezakoman takes the lead in this series 2-1 against our Dutch player, Nymerius. GG. On to the next match we go. He is left with a rogue deck, and the rogue deck has to beat the Druid And it has to beat the handlock. So the handlock is definitely at a good position
Your soul shall be mine.
against the rogue.
Watch your back.
So that's the reason why Nymerius is starting with the handlock. The druid is not so great against the oil rogue. Sprint prep in your starting hand. It's not bad. You're guaranteed to get the cards, all the cards you need. But no minions for Rezako means it's gonna be a tough start for this matchup. Nymerius, on the other hand, happy on his way, tapping to a bigger Twilight on turn 4 and a nice Belcher on turn 5. Maybe even with luck getting a Mountain Giant out of there. This Violet Teacher definitely will be MVP if she's allowed to be left alive on the board for any longer. Getting great card draw out of it. With this hand, at least. Just tapping away for Nymerius. Double backstabbing. Oh. Using the coin to get out the Violet Teacher without using the coin to spawn the 1/1s. No matter what Nymerius plays out, it's gonna get backstabbed. Backstab, prep, eviscerate. Oh, double prep. Wow, you can even prep sprint now because no matter what you draw into, you can prep another spell from there and you're gonna just spam flood the board full of 1/1s. Prepping the sap. Do you have enough damage with the backstabs?
I'm ready to learn.
Oh, he's just using it to spawn 1/1. The Belcher is a pretty good option. The Hellfire is maybe even better. If you attack with the Twilight Drake into the 3/5 Teacher and then Hellfire, everything will die from the rogue side of the board. And your Twilight Drake will be left with 1 hit point. But that's not optimal. You could also attack the Twilight Drake into the Teacher, go for the Mortal Coil, get the card draw, see what you're working with. But then you're left with 4 mana. And 4 mana would basically be just an Earthering Farseer. If you go with the Sludge Belcher play, then more of these 1/1s will start popping up. That might end up being a bit of a problem, but you're holding onto the Hellfire already, so
many possibilities.
you can take the pressure from 1 or 2 more of those 1/1s before playing the Hellfire itself. This is the, let's say, more conservative version. Double taunting and using the Mortal Coil. Well said, Valera. Well said. Now, there's 9 hit points in your way before you can go to the face. You're holding on to the Blade Flurry and the Deadly Poison.
So many options.
Sapping the 4/5, that's not very efficient. That's just 2 mana swing. If you backstab it, you utilize your 1/1 to clear the 4/4 down to 1. Then you use your Deadly Poison, that would work. And then go for the Blade Flurry options. This way you don't have to sacrifice your weapon yet. You've done just enough damage to clear out both taunts. Now you can utilize your minions to either take out the 2/3 or go for the face damage. And with this attack from the dagger, it means he's going for the face damage first. Mountain Giant, 5 mana would be able to be played. The Hellfire would once again be pretty great value. You would tap before it.
I wonder.
If you go for the Mountain Giant play, then you play absolutely nothing else this turn, and that's pretty bad when you're facing 6 damage on the board already for the rogue. 14 damage is not impossible. At 6 mana it might be impossible, but 14 damage is basically just oil plus flurry. That's by itself is 8 more. So missing 6, yeah.
I wonder.
Life tap first into Hellfire. Attack the 2/3 to the face. Or life tap into the Mountain Giant. Okay, this is a bit risky, but when you're at 6 mana and when you're clearing the 1/1s, yeah, then it's not that risky. Taurisan makes a lot of sense because that makes 6 more damage available to you, or 6 more mana available to you. And the opposing lock has to handle the 5/5 body, while your combo cards in your hand become much easier to proc. Sapping that Mountain Giant would have also been an option, but it would not have overdrawn the handlock yet, so the Taurisan by himself will be clearing the out more than likely. Dark Bomb on the 3/3 leaves 4 mana. Or maybe just the heal bots. If you heal a bot, then you don't do anything else though.
So many possibilities.
You can go for the Dark Bomb, Earthing Farseer, heal yourself after you've cleared out the 5/5 with the Mountain Giant. But is that the winning play? Do you win with that? Well, then you've got the board for yourself. You've got the 3/3 on the board, you've got the 8/3 on the board. And the opposing rogue is left with no minions. That's very, very important for the oils. Because then you would only be good if you had the South Sea Deckhand in your hand. Well, there we go. There's the South Sea Deckhand. How much damage is that? That's 2, 3. So it's 5, 8. Just 8 damage though, right now. Not too bad. And you're not going to sap this Earthing Farseer. The Deadly Poison the Dagger and clear off the Farseer, I would say. Because otherwise the Farseer will be able to trade into your SI7 very, very efficiently, and that's not something you want to see. On 8, Nymerius will more than likely drop Taurisan Dark Bomb to 3/3 if this Farseer is taken out. What Rezako really needs right now are his oils. There we go, that's the poison plate. This is still 2-1 for Rezakoman, isn't it? I believe it is. He won the last game with his handlock, yes. And with that, top deck Mountain Giant. We won't be seeing Taurisan, but we will be seeing the 8/8. And the Dark Bomb as spoken previously.
Pay attention, class.
The sap, number 1, for this Mountain Giant will slow down the handlock by 1 turn for the 8 damage. We're holding on to double sap already. There's not going to be that many targets for the saps after this. And you get to spawn the 1/1, so I don't see a reason why you would not attack with it. Or use the sap, sorry. now you've shown your opponent that you have the sap, so you might as well go for it. If you go and target the cards like that, then at this level the players will know what card you're holding. So there we go. Sap.
I'm ready to learn.
And that's 5 mana, 4 mana now.
I wonder.
4 mana leaves 5 up. So he's gonna play the Lothep or the Healbot.
I see.
Over the Belcher. The Lothep is good. Denies more 1/1s from the Teacher. While the Teacher is... Azure Drake is even better as a top deck. And if you get something useful from there... Nope. Not this time. Just for the face. Leaves them at 11. Now, no respect for the Molten Giants. But you are pushing the opposing Warlock down as much as you can. Mainly because even if you're left with just the 1/1 on the board, you're hoping to get that oil. If you get the Tinker Sharps, there's 2 oils in 11, so it's about a 1 in 5 chance, a bit less than a 1 in 5 chance to get it next turn. And then you would have the deckhand, 2, 3, 6,
So many possibilities.
and actually you should attack with this Wicked Knife as well. So 12 damage, and that would be lethal. The Belcher will stop the... Double Belcher will actually stop the charge part out of this deckhand, so Double Belcher would be safe. Using the Lothep to kill off the Teacher and the Mountain Giant to kill off the Azure Drake would be even more safe, because of the fact that this Azure Drake provides the spell damage, and if there's something like double Eviscerate, that would be a bit difficult to handle. Going for the Healbot instead of the second Belcher, that's also a good option. Stops that aggression from happening. You've got the spell damage now, so this Blade Flurry deals 4. 4 to everything. Use this Violet Apprentice to clear out the Belcher. Do Fan of Knives with 2 to everything. And you've efficiently cleared out everything except for the Mountain Giant. So 4, 2.
I wonder.
And you're still left with the 3/5 and the 4/4, which haven't attacked. Yep.
I'm ready to learn.
And now it's a 1 in 5 chance to draw into that oil.
I'm ready to learn.
So
Nope,
many
Thalnos.
options.
Well, Thalnos cycles when it dies, so you'll have to kill off the Mountain Giant. You're down to 8. Do you use the deckhand for it?
Soon.
Yep, you use the deckhand for it. Deckhand and Thalnos. Nope. Actually opting to go for the 3/5. No, this means you're not going to play the deckhand at all. Personally, I would have maybe even preferred to see that deckhand trade into it, because the 3/5 would still survive the Hellfire, and any of those minions on the board would still be valid targets for the oil. Defender of Argus, but no targets to taunt up except maybe Sylvanas or Tauresan. The Belcher by itself won't do a whole lot, and the Hellfire at this stage you just don't want to do, because it pushes you down to 7. And even if the Belcher were to work, that's just 7 more hit points, and you would be a total of 14. While the Rogue is threatening 8 from existing on the board, would need 6 from its hand. That's completely possible. A single oil and that's it. It's not looking good for Nymerius. If Rezako takes the 3rd match, then it's GG and well played. Big Game Hunter and Owl for targets for the Defender? You deny the card draw from the Thalnos. Yep, there we go. Well, now you've got 5 instead of 7. So 5 plus 10. 15. On the other hand, the second sap, yeah, the second sap isn't so bad. The Blade Flurry deals 3, and that's lethal. Oh, it only deals 2. Yeah, it only deals 2 because of the Thalnos was silenced. It's still lethal though, isn't it? 4, yeah, it's still lethal. Their can deals enough. So, there we go. Rezakoman takes it home. GG, well played. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for being a part of the experience. We will be back next week once again with Monday Night Tournament number 26, powered by Fractio. Check it out. And it's pretty late here in Finland, so I will be cutting this short. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time, and until then, keep playing more Hearthstone.